Hey, Justin Labato here inside of the Autogeek Show Car Garage, and we're here with special guest Jeff Silver from Jescar. And what we want to do today is talk about the Jescar lineup of compounds and polishes. However, we want to give a little history on how these products derived and what they have to offer, and of course the comparison. So Jeff, if you could explain, that'd be great.
Thank you, Justin. Yes, Jescar's been involved in polishing compounds in the industrial market for about 3 decades now, and our introduction to the automotive world was in the OEM assembly plants, introducing high-grade professional polishing compounds for spot defect repair on the assembly line. And we realized this same technology can be applied to the automotive aftermarket, whether it be the collision shops or the professional detail world, as well as for the do-it-yourselfers. So we took this technology, we took our knowledge in the industrial polishing market and applied it to our products that we sell to the detail market for polishing. And we had this idea of coming up with a very simple system where we introduced a compound and a polish, a simple 2-step process for defect removal, and then if necessary, to eliminate the swirls that you might see from some heavy compounding. So Jescar introduced 2 products, a polishing compound for defect removal, our correcting compound, and if necessary, for dark colors and where you might have some swirls as a result of using a heavy pad on dark colors, we have our micro-finishing polish, which will eliminate completely any swirl marks, defects, spider webs in the finish. It became necessary, though, to introduce additional products based on the requests from our customers. And that's really where the rest of the line came from.
So this is more or less a complete line of all the necessary abrasives, from least aggressive to most aggressive, from Jescar, to be able to deliver a system, to say, based on how somebody is utilizing their own process, whether it be a DIY, like you mentioned, a professional, whatever the case may be. But it allows them to have different picks and choices to deal with all these different types of paint systems too,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And especially like some of the finicky blacks, like the B pillars on the vehicles, the piano black, things like that. That's where, like, you know, your polishing products really, really shine, to say.
The micro-finishing polish, although it can remove those swirl marks and is excellent on dark colors, there are times where on some tougher paints or with slightly heavier defects, it became necessary to have a product that had a little bit more bite, a little bit more cut. But we wanted to make sure that it would leave the same level of gloss, the same finish. This is where the fine polish came from. This will have faster defect removal than the micro-finishing polish, but still leave the same level of gloss. So this has really become one of my go-to products because I can get the same result, I can get it faster, and it just works as a wonderful addition to the rest of our product line. It also was obvious to us that a lot of guys like doing a single step. You don't necessarily need the cutting ability of the correcting compound, which is really our flagship compound. It has tremendous cutting, but excellent gloss, even in one step, especially if you're using a DA polisher and a medium foam pad, like an orange foam pad. This product can really be a one-step. But in many cases, you don't need the cutting power of the correcting compound. The medium polish addresses that need. This will have excellent cutting, almost on par with the correcting compound, but finish up very close to what the fine and micro finishing polish can provide.
So if you're in a shop setting, or you're just wanting to do a good one-step polish to remove the light micro scratches, swirls, then getting your hands on maybe both the medium and the compound would be where it's at, picking and choosing depending upon your pad. Those variables, of course, that combination for that paint system. But between those 2 products, that's all you need for that one-step polishing category, to say.
Exactly.
Because you get the bite and you get the finish.
Exactly. The medium can do that. It will do defect repair and high gloss in one step. But of course, we have applications where cars are abused, older paint, tremendous weathering, or in body shop applications where the speed of the process is extremely important. And they're always looking for a quicker working compound.
Turnaround time.
And that's where our heavy cut compound comes from. The heavy is, of course, going to provide faster and deeper defect removal than our correcting compound. But in a product like this, it will be necessary to have the cutting ability of a fine polish. So this, as a combination, the heavy compound with the fine, works as an excellent two-step process, especially in a body shop or a detail shop working on a car that is in a little rough condition. The microfinishing polish doesn't have the cut that the fine has, and it would be too fine of a product. This best left to the soft paint, the real fine detail work that you're looking for in a microfinishing polish. So the line gives you everything from a very heavy cutting compound over to an extremely fine microfinishing polish, and of course the products in between.
Nice. And of course, you know, that heavy cut compound, that's going to be so your major defect removal, sanding marks, just something that was just brutally neglected, and being able to level that out safely and effectively with that product. And then of course the microfinish polish. I mean, for those that are into jeweling, that I feel is going to be in that category. Exactly. So where they really want to finesse that paint out for show quality purposes or for personal preference, whatever it may be. But the fact that you have the whole lineup to fit the needs, that's huge.
Exactly, exactly. So depending upon what your application is, what your requirement is, based on the requirement of the car, we have really addressed every single point in the line of abrasive polishing compounds for that application. Again, heavily weathered paint, the heavy cut compound will do the job. But still, the flagship product, because of its ability to have strong cut and excellent gloss, even in one step, correcting compound is really the go-to product. And if necessary, you have the finer products on dark colors, softer paint, if that's something that you need to do after using a correcting compound. But this is really a go-to product. That's our flagship product.
Yeah, so as you can see, Jescar basically has a solution for all of your compounding and polishing needs. And if you need more information about any of the compounds and polishes from Jescar, visit autogeek.com.